Hello and welcome to the program this week. I'm Layo Adegoke. Let's begin the program with stories and happenings that made headlines over the weekend.
Impose further restrictions.
South Africa's President Cyril Ramaphosa said on Sunday he was deeply disappointed at rich Western countries for their knee-jerk imposition of travel bans after hearing about the new variant. Ramaphosa also said the country faced a fourth wave of COVID-19 within weeks as the new Omicron variant was driving a rise in infections in the most populated province of Gauteng.
These restrictions are completely unjustified and unfairly discriminate against our country and our Southern African sister countries. The prohibition of travel is not informed by science, nor will it be effective in preventing the spread of this variant. The only thing the prohibition on travel will do is to further damage the economies of the affected countries and undermine their ability to respond to and also to recover from the pandemic. We call upon these countries that have imposed travel bans on our country and our other Southern African sister countries to immediately and urgently reverse their decisions and lift the bans they have imposed before any further damage is done on our economies and to the livelihoods of our people.
Mr. Ramaphosa clarified authorities would not be considering economic lockdown restrictions for the time being due to the availability of vaccines for those aged 12 and over. South Africans getting their COVID-19 jabs at a vaccination center in Johannesburg said on Sunday they were concerned about the new Omicron variant first discovered in their country.
I am worried because, well, it's apparently more dangerous than the previous one due to mutations. So it does bring a lot of worry to me.
South Africa said on Saturday it was being punished for its advanced ability to detect new COVID-19 variants early, as travel bans and restrictions imposed because of the new Omicron variant threaten to harm tourism and other sectors of the economy. Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi met with his Senegalese counterpart in Dakar on Sunday ahead of a China-Africa Forum hosted in the city. Senegal is hosting the 2021 Forum on China-Africa Cooperation, which starts on Monday. Unlike in 2018, heads of states are not expected to attend, leaving the summit at the ministerial level. However, Chinese President Xi Jinping will make a keynote address via video link at the summit's opening ceremony. The Africa Centers for Disease Control and Prevention held a topping out ceremony to mark the structural completion of the main building of the organization's future headquarters in a southern suburb of Ethiopia's capital, Addis Ababa. The project, featuring modern offices, high-end laboratories and other facilities, is being constructed on 9 hectares of land with a total building area of 23,570 square meters.
Rwanda has become the latest country to impose a travel ban to South Africa after a new coronavirus variant, Omicron, was detected in the country. The government in Rwanda has announced new measures that include the suspension of flights to and from southern African countries. All arriving passengers must have a negative test and do a repeat test on arrival and 7 days after arriving into the country. A 7-day quarantine has also been reintroduced for travelers coming from countries recently affected by new waves. All those attending gatherings like weddings and funeral must also be fully vaccinated. Well, following the government's directives on travel, the national carrier Rwanda Air halted services to South Africa, Zimbabwe and Zambia. The discovery of the Omicron variant is encouraging vaccination in South Africa as residents rush to get vaccinated against COVID-19. The country's health facilities is being prepared to cope with the newly identified variant, as Health Minister Joe Fowler says the government is doing everything possible to cope with this new strain.
I am worried because, well, it's apparently more dangerous than the previous one due to mutations. So it does bring a lot of worry to me.
It's a global concern, it worries everyone. I'm very, very scared. That is why I even came to vaccinate. Because initially I was like, let me see how it goes. But now, it's a thing of concern.
Meanwhile, travelers stranded at Johannesburg International Airport on Monday say they feel helpless as flights from South Africa have been cancelled. The travel restrictions were imposed after the country announced it has identified the Omicron variant.
I am very sad, depressed and helpless because the Kenya Airways doesn't understand that we are UK residents because we are going there as a skilled workers. So we don't know how to do. We are just waiting here. We don't know how they will help, but they just told us they can't help us. It does give me a bit of anxiety, but as long as I do the best I can to stay safe, I can't control the person next to me, but as long as I do my best, then that's the most I can do, I think.
Top infectious disease experts in South Africa are saying existing COVID-19 vaccines should be highly effective at preventing severe disease and hospitalization from the newly identified Omicron variant. Well, let's hear more now from the Health Minister, Dr. Joe Fowler.
Our medical scientists, our epidemiologists, our clinicians are working daily, hourly, studying this virus, its characteristics, and its impact on us as human beings, as citizens. Among the things which the president outlined yesterday that we still have to understand, led by our scientists, such as the transmissibility of this virus. That's a matter which our scientists and epidemiologists are working on, whether there is any age differentiation in terms of its transmissibility and illness, whether there is increased reinfection for those who had already been infected before, and including also breakthrough infections for those of us who are already vaccinated, and also to the extent to which the vaccines remain of serious protection. All these matters, what the president outlined as work in progress. We can be rest assured that it's a matter of days and weeks, our scientists will have actually gone to the bottom of this. But in the meantime, we are doing everything possible to make sure that our health facilities are ready. We know that as the infections rise, people will get sick, some will get severe, especially those who have not been vaccinated. But we know that there will also be incidences where even those who are vaccinated may get ill, and the health facilities should be ready. And that's why we have a Gauteng representative here, just to shed light as the epicenter currently of this variant, to give us a sense of the readiness of the health facilities.
Our South Africa Bureau Chief, Betty Debia, joins us now for more on this. Hello, Betty.
Hello, Laya. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you too. Well, one question that has been bothering is, will the existing COVID-19 vaccines be able to beat this new variant? And the health minister and some other top infectious disease experts have bordered on this. How prepared, are South African health facilities for this?
Well, as you heard the Health Minister, Joe Fowler, say, and some of the scientists at that press conference, South Africa expected a fourth wave about this time. They predicted that. They expected more variants, so they have been researching, and the genome sequencing and surveillance have been going on, which is why they brought this up immediately. It was noticed. Dr. Angelique Coetzee, one of the doctors for the chair of the South Africa Medical Association, that raised alarm concerning this. So they were not exactly caught unawares. But maybe what is catching them unawares is the reaction to it and all the hype, making it seem that probably this is like the deadliest mutation or the variant of COVID-19. Of course, other countries have a right to protect their own citizens. Remember, countries like the UK, they had a lot of flack from the citizens because they allegedly didn't react early enough to the Delta, I think the Delta variant at the time. But everyone is trying to react. I guess nobody really knows how to handle this. But they were not exactly caught unawares, and they've been pushing the citizens for vaccination, to take their vaccines. They're still way behind the expected 42 or so million those vaccinated fully. They're still behind. We're still standing at 25.2 million as of last night. So they've been pushing for that, and all the non-pharmaceutical observations like wearing your mask and the like. So it wasn't a shock. I think the worry maybe is the reaction at the disclosure of this variant that they've noticed here has brought to the world, I guess.
Indeed, the disclosure of this variant brought about travel bans, which President Ramaphosa says he's quite disappointed and is calling for the lifting of these bans. Do you see this happening anytime soon?
I don't think so, because it's spreading. Now, you talked about Rwanda. Before Rwanda, we heard Mauritius. These are two countries in Africa, apart from those outside Africa. It may take some time. Some, like Mauritius, talked about a month. In some countries, it's 2 weeks, so that everybody will get to probably understand much more about this variant from the scientists, because all eyes are on the scientists. We can really answer the questions to know, do we have to worry more, or worry less, or just carry on with the safety routines that we're already used to for over almost 2 years now. So it's he's worried. The President Ramaphosa stressed on the fact that the bans are not helpful, but the focus rather should be on equity, vaccine equity, ensure that the spread of the availability of the vaccines will be much more to the less privileged country, if I'll put it that way, and to ensure more people, because everybody can be safe if some people are not vaccinated. If some are not safe, everybody can't be safe. So that's what he's saying, that they're going back on agreements at the G20 meeting last month in Rome, and that they should just ensure that the politics is less, and the spread of vaccine or availability of vaccine to more countries should be made possible. Within South Africa, he's constituted what is called the Presidential Task Team for vaccine, which I think will be headed by the Deputy President, David Mabuza, who will ensure that more sectors, will push for mandatory vaccination, maybe to boost the numbers and ensure that people are a bit safer. Not that the vaccines will stop, but at least severe sickness will be, or the probability will reduce.
All right, just finally, before I let you go, President Ramaphosa is expected in Nigeria. What more can you tell us about that?
Well, that visit is not just Nigeria. He will be in Nigeria first. I heard the Minister for International Relations, Naledi Pando, already attending the Binational Commission in Abuja. So he'll be visiting Ghana, Cote d'Ivoire, and Senegal during this visit. Of course, talking about working together on the global scene, boosting investment and other forms of cooperation.
All right then, South Africa Bureau Chief Betty Dibia, thank you.
Thank you so much.
The World Health Organization has warned that the Omicron variant of coronavirus poses a very high risk globally and could lead to severe consequences in some regions. It confirmed previous reports that the variant had an unprecedented number of spike mutations, but added there were considerable uncertainties about the effects these could have. WHO said it expected more data within the coming weeks and called on member states to make sure they are able to maintain health services even if the number of cases start to rise. The emergence of this new variant will also be discussed by G7 health ministers. The three-day triennial forum on China-Africa Cooperation Conference has officially opened in Senegal's capital, Dakar. Delegates from the continent and China are in attendance, and as well as hundreds of participants. The gathering comes amid biting economic and social challenges on the continent, fueled by the COVID-19 pandemic and climate change. Ministers and representatives of African countries and China are due to chart a joint response to deal with COVID-19 and also to unveil other plans that would guide the relationship for the next 3 years and beyond. The communiqué is expected to be released on Tuesday. Well, back here in Nigeria, a total of 7 inmates who escaped from the Jos Correctional Center after gunmen attacked the facility on Sunday have been rearrested by the Plateau State Police Command in Jos. The spokesperson of the command, Gabriel Uber, who confirmed this development, says the Commissioner of Police for Plateau State led reinforcement to the scene and directed that the center be cordoned off. According to him, immediate stop and search operation was put in motion, where 7 escapees have been rearrested by the police and are in custody, while 1 escapee voluntarily surrendered himself to the police.
"17 to 20 hours, where yet to be identified gunmen were said to have invaded the center. But upon receipt of the report, the Commissioner of Police Plateau State Command, CP Bartholomew Onyeka, who led reinforcement to the scene, directed that the center should be cordoned. The CP also directed immediate stop and search, where 9 escapees have been rearrested by the police and are in our custody, while 1 escapee voluntarily surrendered himself to the police. But based on the prompt response, the situation was brought under control.
Inmates who joined them to attack us, 8 of them lost their life because they joined them after joining them to attack the facility. They decided to escape. So while they were running, they were gunned down. The record office was burned down completely. Part of the superintendent in charge office was touched too. The ICT section was also touched. The gate was badly damaged because the gate, they first of all attacked the gate before they gained entrance. So the gate was partially damaged.
Let's discuss more on this security breach. Joining us now right here in the studio is security consultant Mr. Seyi Adetayo. Thank you for joining us on the program.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you. Let's just take a look at an overview of repeated attacks and jailbreaks in the country, looking at this recent one in Jos. What are your thoughts?
Likely it's something that we should be concerned as a nation, especially with the audacity of the attack. You know, this is a facility that is situated where we have other security agencies, like the State Command, the Prison Headquarters, the DSS Command also there. The Area Command was also, it's also situated around there. And this to show that because the previous attacks had been likely successful, and that has given the miscreant that boldness to believe that they can always strike any prison facility and then, successfully carry it out, because in the past, we've not learned from the lessons of the previous attacks on prison facilities to fortify, the prison system such that an attack like this will not be something that anybody could be motivated to carry out.
Well, just like you've mentioned, the correctional center is located near the headquarters of the Plateau State Police Command as well as the DSS. So what went wrong? I mean, what should authorities be doing now to be able to avert a new attack?
I know for sure that at a point in time, the DSS supported federal parastatals agencies with risk and vulnerable assessment of the facilities. And the question is, what has been done to those reports? Have they been able to implement all the recommendations? The previous attacks that were carried out, was there a vulnerability assessment? Was the situation reviewed? What were the recommendations proffered? Have they been able to do it and implement? You see, there must be a response. And there is no prison facilities that is situated in a place that is beyond like 10 minutes response time from any agency. So if at this time in our national life, we are having facilities that, are not designed in such a way that we can easily respond. Now, part of the issue here is that nobody is held accountable. For example, now, we have similar thing. Similar thing happened about 4 weeks ago in Kenya. Amity Prisons was attacked. Three inmates escaped Al-Shabaab terrorists. The government was able to apprehend them, but that notwithstanding, the leadership of the prisons were arrested. And just last week, they were taken to court, and the court remanded them in prison custody. Now, some people have been held accountable because they are responsible for protecting the society from criminals. Because that's the reason why, that's what the facility is meant for. If you look at what happened in Edo State, where criminals escaped, they went into the community where they were initially arrested and killed the people who took them to the police. So when criminals are escaping, it puts the society in danger, and people must be held accountable. Another one important thing that government needs to start considering at all state level now is that there is what is called central alarm system, and it's not rocket science. These are things that professionals in Nigeria can actually install. Central alarm systems in all federal critical infrastructure, such that if there is an attack, it can be triggered, and all the responding agencies within seconds will know that there is a situation in this particular facility, and they mobilize there. But the situation whereby you are still waiting for social media to raise alarm that something is happening before.
So what do you think? You've mentioned some of the things. What more do you think can be done to stem this tide?
We need to actually look at the way our prisons are constructed. Why is it so easy for people to just strike the first gate and gain access? So we need to look at the architectural design of our prisons. Do we have what's called defensible space? Have we created enough, workable and efficient defensible space for all our prison system? So they need to carry out risk assessment, vulnerability testing of each of this facility. Now look at the areas of weakness and fortify it. This is not just about white elephant project. We're talking about real action, because we have people that have killed people in those prisons, and that will not hesitate to kill more people if they are allowed into the society. And we must take it as a serious issue.
Indeed, it is a serious issue, but would like to thank you, Seyi Adeta, your security consultant. Thank you for coming on the program.
Thank you so much.
Well, finally on the program, the jailed former Paralympic athlete Jos Pistorius is due to meet the parents of his girlfriend, River Steenkamp, who he was convicted of murdering back in 2013. The meeting is part of a process that could lead to the 35-year-old's eventual release on parole. Officials say the South African has been moved to a different prison nearer to where Mr. and Mrs. Steenkamp live. Mr. Pistorius is up for possible release after having served half his 13 years and 5-month sentence. And that's it on the program today. Thank you so much for being a part of it. I'm Layo Adegoke.